Saw this girl who works in Spotify in the accounting department, and she asked her coworkers, I think like 10 of them, where they worked at public accounting. And each one of them said a big four public accounting firm. And this highlights the biggest downside to working at a mid-tier firm versus a big four is that if you want to work for Spotify, if you want to work for Google, if you want to work for one of these brand name companies, they typically hire from big four. That doesn't mean that you won't get hired there or if it's impossible. I've seen plenty of people who've worked at mid-tier firms or smaller firms even get jobs at some of these larger companies. I think it's just a little bit harder to do so if you go to a mid-tier first rather than going to big four. There are some upsides to going to a mid-tier firm though. Like if you're an audit, you might see more areas than you would if you went to a big four. There's also less of this pressure to be working, 70, 80 hours because that's not how everybody's wired at a mid-tier firm. And in my senior year, when I had an offer from RSM and Deloitte and KPMG, I looked at the big four a little bit more than RSM because I knew that long-term I wanted to work for one of these brand name companies. I didn't know what it meant at the time, but it was the path of least resistance for me to get to one of these brand name companies. And now I've worked and consulted for companies like Cursor and Dropbox, et cetera. So four is what I recommend just to fast track, earnings potential, fast track going to one of these big companies. But mid-tier, there's nothing wrong with mid-tier firms. Still a great choice. There's some great firms out there. If you want more accounting advice, make sure to follow, leave a like, leave a comment, love y'all, peace.